Hello, good evening, and welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present. Our top stories in the news tonight. Government urged to make corruption a non-bailable offense. Given Lubinda charges that Zambians will miss the PF as the UPND hits back. Most stakeholders oppose the return of Vedanta in the mining sector. And in international news, Somalia MPs meet to vote in long-delayed presidential election. In sports news, government to promote grassroots sports.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amidst uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple, lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilo. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022. Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel. Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amidst uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple, lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilo. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Hello, once again, the news in detail. A pipe leakage at the intersection of Kamloops Road of Lusaka's Kalingalinga residential area in Lusaka's Munale constituency has worried local motorists who are calling on the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company to address the problem. According to road users, the problem has been prolonged since 2021 and nothing much has been done to address the situation. They have told Camnet News that an official complaint was made to the water utility company, which in response said it would work on the site but to no avail. More in this report.
In Zambia, the water and sanitation sector has continued to face its challenges ranging from supply to poor sanitation, and this is due to various factors affecting the industry, one of them being water spillages. This is Lusaka's Kalingalinga compound, where clean water is being lost right at Kamloops Road intersection. Road users in this community have expressed concerns over the water spillage, calling for relevant authorities to intervene.
Is it an accident?
So inamba lite exactly.
Last year
problem.
Pamanje na accident ya mboshtika. Mazo wapenzi accident. Nasherereka motoka inangu pita pamanzi bada kwendo umenya mulinzi ake kuti. Chifukwa cha mena ya manzi. Tinamba kudala kuchita complain ba sometimes vamabwera va Lusaka onda sware ziva kabwera azasonjerera paja but still kulibe very still.
They say efforts have been made by community members to engage the Lusaka Water and Sanitation Company, but to no avail since last year. They have since proposed that authorities give them permission to utilize the water for other domestic ventures such as car washing rather than all going to waste.
Soro ya manza ndiye petita peso kila motoka so ngati va government wali willing pera watipase koche chimashini cha utizisuka che motoka kozi manzi yao nongeka chabe mahala but gure kwa fima mashini vakuti at least tizisuka che pema motoka pena tupange kaosh keso no bwero konza pa road yenda yao nongeka manje futa zakapo yakakamba taiya itigumula road nishifute kunkalafuti congestion ero road D7 za maningi ngati kuli congestion kuja mabasi ambili yapita kwa meneko.
Meanwhile, Kalingalinga Ward 36 Councillor Mukubesa Nyoni has called on the water utility company to come on board as soon as possible.
The Lusaka Water and Sanitation, this is the institution that is in charge of water spillage, like the one we are having right now. And we've interacted with them, the engineers, and if they are seeing me right now, they know that the information is right on their fingertips on this issue. So we are really hoping that they come on board to do the need.
Until the authorities respond to this call, pool of water at this junction will persist. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, in Lusaka.
Disability Rights Watch National Coordinator Bruce Joma has appealed to the government to invest in devices that will enhance the mobility of persons with disabilities. This follows a case carried by Camnet TV on the 11th of April 2022, where a 41-year-old disabled woman, Aneji Nalwembe, appealed to the government to help her start up a business and provide an artificial leg for her. Mr. Joma says it is the responsibility of the government to take care of the vulnerable in society. Meanwhile, Minister of Community Development and Social Services, Doreen Mwamba, has appealed to government, to the media, to help government in complementing identifying persons with disability that need government assistance. More in the following report.
41-year-old Lusaka resident living with disability, Aneji Nalwembe, featured on Camnet TV on the 11th of April 2022, appealing to government to empower her as she desired to start up a business. Ms. Nalwembe had her leg removed as a result of an accident. Currently, Ms. Nalwembe does not only need to start up a business, but also that government provides a new artificial leg for her as the old one has come out.
My challenges yaneni mapeza ni yako vati kwenda kaonongeka like furu hapa kwenda ni onongeka na kudala already. Ku UTH kwenda ipa 10,000. Izaicho sakuti. Nyumba ni rent. Kudia ni vutikira. Vana kuti ni vapase vakudia ni vutikira. Pasa rent ni vutikira. So mwandi ni munga ntandizeko ponkala pene ni libe ero futi kubeva neninga chite.
Reacting to this development, the National Coordinator at the Disability Rights Watch in Zambia, Bruce Joma, has appealed to government to invest in devices that will enhance easy mobility for persons with disabilities.
That access to assistive devices such as artificial limbs, clutches, wheelchairs, and any other form of mobility aid for people with disabilities must be something available through universal accessibility, meaning that every person in Zambia who has a disability or needs assistance must be able to access that equipment and device at no cost, because government must be able to look after the vulnerable in society. In the same way that we are able to provide free antiretroviral treatment for HIV/AIDS to all citizens who need it, and we're also able to provide free COVID vaccines to all citizens who need it. We think that in terms of human rights, it is more dignifying if every person with a disability is able to access the devices they need.
Mr. Choma notes that government must always provide the needs for persons with disabilities. Meanwhile, Minister of Community Development and Social Services, Doreen Mwamba, has assured ANEG that she will receive the help that she needs.
I've developed an open door policy where, since you are on the ground, when you identify or you come across this individual who needs our support, please don't hesitate to contact us. It is disheartening to see people appealing for help on media when we are here and we are readily available. So when you identify such people who are in need, please contact our officers.
In February 2016, the government of the Republic of Zambia launched the National Policy on Disability. As the case, this policy was launched in an effort to deal with various challenges faced by persons with disabilities and ensure social and economic inclusion for them. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
A 28-year-old woman of Lusaka's John Lane compound in Kanyama constituency is nursing serious body injuries after her husband used a pot and fist to hit her. In an interview with Camnet TV, Regina Perry alleges that her husband, identified as Richard Perry, is fond of engaging in extramarital affairs and has been emotionally and physically abusing her. More in this report.
While many are excited to get married and share the rest of their lives with their chosen partners, for Regina Perry of Lusaka's Kanyama compound, the case is different. After a husband of 10 years, whom she identified as Richard Perry, left her with an injured face. Mrs. Perry thought her husband was a hero and would protect her and their 3 children from any form of violence. However, he turned out to be the perpetrator. The victim claims that her husband has been abusive toward her and their 3 children, and many a times that he has accused her of being a prostitute.
Sana kwa na waitana nyumba bizana kwa kupana kungena nyumba sana watu msalamu nyumba chemele mungu sitabana so ni chani so pamela kochongo chinakuwa cha amba nyumba na kuchoka panja chiza kwa na mnyusi za kwa na nyumba bana choka panja pamela na bora 22 anankala 23 until 24 baiche panja nishta nachoka yeye ingelani nyumba mshitipanje.
Violence against women remains devastatingly pervasive. Data from the World Health Organization indicate that across their lifetime, 1 in 3 women, around 736 million, are subjected to physical or sexual violence by their partner or sexual violence from a non-partner, a number that has remained largely unchanged over the past decade.
Ngalani mnyumba mgone wewe yai kagone ni nyumba yako siza kunangu mnyumba iya ngelani mnyumba ndatimufuna kufuna kuyenda kwa mukaende mairukse sei so anabwera ngena mnyumba bachosa blanket ine ninakana tia ipanje simzashita bwanji siza konapo gwana nche mnyumba kwa mnatia mnyumba mwesinga kwa ndiye mamele benzi ndeo yenze inaambira twambochaya na banamba makofi bamenya makofi balasi banabwera batenga mpoto banambo nimenya na eve bananityaka kumutu konselenze umenya so nima bauza nipase transport inde kuli bamamisi bafuna kunipasa transport ama niuza chisinga kupase transport sindiwe chilema cha kuti nipase transport.
After getting aside, Camnet TV contacted Mr. Perry to get his defense. However, it was established that he had already been arrested and detained at Kapasa Police Post for the subject offense of assaulting his wife. Hello, Mwibwanji. Nitumira ku Camnet.
Wakati wali mashoza wali kupoti sikuno. Because naona kile ila dia phone.
Oh, bene swalipo. Meanwhile, the community human rights-based organization called Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights, where the victim first reported a case to, condemns the barbaric act of abusing women.
The hands of the relatives is not in the hands of the husband as for now. So what happened the very day when she was battered by the husband, the relative, when the matter was referred to the police, the relatives, they had to take her away from the marriage. That's what happened. So also, she's going through the counseling. Our counselors, they are doing their own duty to make sure that she's not traumatized.
Though Regina Piri says she does not want to get back with her husband because of his abusive ways, women like her continue to be victims because of lack of financial capacity to survive on their own. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A parliamentarian has proposed that corruption in Zambia must become a non-bailable offense in order to curb the vice. United Party for National Development Katombora constituency member of parliament Clement Andeleki says law reforms are vital in combating graft. Mr. Andeleki says the only way Zambia will curb corruption is by making sure that the law is more punitive to deter would-be offenders. Patrick Soko has more.
Zambia scored 33 points out of 100 on the 2021 Corruption Perception Index reported by Transparency International. The Corruption Perception Index ranks countries and territories based on how corrupt their public sector is perceived. A country or territory's score indicates the perceived level of public sector corruption on a scale of 0, highly corrupt, to 100, very clean. So far, it remains uncertain where the country is headed for in the fight against corruption, as no major convictions have been secured this far. However, most of the cases are before the courts of law, mostly involving former government officials who include, among others, Kabushi lawmaker Bowman Lusambo and former Infrastructure Minister Ronald Chitotela and Patriotic Front acting president Given Lubinda. And the PF continues to believe that the corruption fight is aimed at tarnishing their image.
We have a duty to protect the integrity of the Patriotic Front. And we're getting totally incensed by the habit of the UPND to continue to label our party as a corrupt party. We know for a fact that they are doing this purely to create an impression in the minds of the people of Zambia.
But according to United Party for National Development Katombola constituency member of parliament Clement Andeleki, the fight against corruption is not targeted at the PF.
Yes, and robust law reforms. Our major concern really there is that the law in its current form does not effectively combat corruption because it has put a lot of bureaucratic procedures which make it impossible for an offender to be arrested easily and to be cornered in no time. I mean this, that any investigation officer who has received a complaint on corruption will require to seek authority of the Director General of Anti-Corruption Commission for him to be able to go and investigate that crime. Now, that is not good because corruption is an organized crime. It happens in a twinkling of an eye. By the time you are reporting, by the time you are getting the authority of the Director General, you find he's not in the office. Sometimes it's happening in Livingston, you need the authority of the Director General of the Anti-Corruption, who is in Lusaka. How can you fight corruption like that?
He says if Zambia is to improve its corruption perception index, law reforms are vital, starting with making corruption to be a non-bailable offense.
So the real point that I'm making here is that corruption must be made non-bailable. Corruption must be treated as a very, very serious crime like murder. Because what corruption does in effect is that it takes away all the gains the country has made, whether it's in governance, whether in public service delivery, or in all the other sectors of development. So my feeling as Member of Parliament for Katombora and as Chairperson on Legal, Human Rights and Governance is to encourage the Zambian people to make sure that they lobby for a good law pertaining combating of corruption, because corruption is not only endemic but is a danger if not well kept. The members of the public have a right to petition the National Assembly to reform a particular law that they consider.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Opposition Economic and Equity Party leader Chilufya Tayari has urged the United Party for National Development Administration to focus on reducing the high cost of living by supporting the involvement of citizens in economic ventures. And Mr. Tayari has implored citizens to demand involvement in the mining sector and not just the Black Mountain. In an interview with Camnet TV, Mr. Tayari accused the New Dawn administration of giving wealth to foreigners at the expense of Zambians who voted for them. He adds that despite the government refusing claims that it has not given back Konkola Copper Mines KCM to Vedanta Resources, all indicators are pointing to that. More in this report.
Various opposition political parties have continued to add their voice over the Konkola Copper Mines and the Vendetta saga. Just like the Patriotic Front Party has been vocal on this issue by claiming that the United Party for National Development Administration has given back KCM to Vendetta. Economic and Equity Party leader Chilufya Tayari also holds the same view on the issue.
And since President Hakainde Hichilema came in, the decisions that he's making are not decisions, arising from the welfare of Zambians or in the interest of Zambians. Is acting in the interest, is like he's paying debt. Vakainde vari Kongola kuli bantu ankane from the Anglo-Americans, from Vedanta, from Brent Trust and other international forces, financial forces. And now he's paying back. And this is why we are against, because any decisions or any agreements that is made based on, what a political party or a president got can never be fair, can never be in the interest of the Zambian people, because these guys are looking for profit. That's what they are looking for.
The Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, however, last week assured Zambians that government had not given back KCM to Vendetta Resources, thus urging the people not to take social media and lies from the opposition political parties seriously. He did, though, indicate that government had only engaged the mining investor to see how the issue at the firm can be resolved outside the court. Meanwhile, Mr. Tayari urges the government to focus on Zambians and reduce the cost of living, adding that Zambians must demand for mines and not the Black Mountain.
Let us retain 51% of the mine shares, let it belong to Zambians. That is our policy as Economic and Equity Party. Mines, the investment, the shares in the mines should 51% must be in the hands of Zambians. I'm not talking about in the hands of state. I'm talking about in the hands of Zambians. The state can also have a share of maybe, let's say, 25%, 30%, but the other shares, let Zambians buy those shares. Somebody will say, no, where are they going to get the money? Where are Vedanta and all these others getting the money? They don't have money themselves. They also borrow money to come and buy shares or to come and buy the mines. Why can't we also do the same?
Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Meanwhile, the New Heritage Party has disapproved of the looming return of Vedanta to Konkola Copper Mines KCM, citing past failures by the company in the mining industry. In an interview with Camnet News, party president Chishala Kateka has questioned the move, saying the government must not be blackmailed with investment pledges. She says the firm failed to enhance investment and safeguard the plight of the local people, wondering what might have changed. Ms. Kateka has since urged the government to take into consideration the interests of citizens before making any decision on the mine. She underscored the need to entrust Zambian people with resources to run for themselves and not foreign companies. Earlier, Vedanta made overtures to the Zambian government and assured to implement several social responsibility programs if it resumes control of the local firm, investing including a 1.5 billion capital mine development and the two parties opted to resolve pending issues outside court.
The PF government said no because they were declaring assets, losses constantly. The people of Chingola kept complaining that they were polluting the water, the mines, the mine itself. They had even stopped. They were not producing as much. They were in fact just buying copper and then smelting it in their smelter, which is the only good thing that they did for that mine, until the people of Chingola just said, you know, we've had enough of this. The government said we have had enough of this vendetta. They said that they bought it for 25 million. They were every year continuously making losses, but their boss was boasting somewhere to have made 500 million in such a short time. So it clearly shows that there was an issue there. And now, with all these promises they are making, we are wondering, as the New Heritage Party, why couldn't they have done these things they are talking about now at that time? If that political will is not there, then it won't happen, because you have to seriously empower Zambians to be able to run these mines. It will be a game changer for us as a nation when we begin to run our own mines and we begin to make the profits that we should be making and to pay the taxes that we should be paying, because that money will be retained here in Zambia and it will not be going out. We have billions worth of dollars of minerals underground, but then we fail to take advantage of that and always get other people to come and manage those mines for us. They're not even managing them for us, they're managing them for themselves and taking out the wealth. So Zambia does not benefit as much as we should be doing from the mining sector.
Operation Young Vote Executive Director Gesi Nyirenda has underscored the need for attitude change towards empowerment projects under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Mr. Nyirenda notes that without the right attitude, it will be just like in the past when empowerment programs were being treated as gratification for supporting the party in power prior to the general election. He says it is important that people understand the motive behind the empowerment initiatives. He adds that there is need to equip the people with the right information on how to manage the resources, as well as ensure effective targeting of beneficiaries beyond partisan lines.
Must transform. We must remember that the CDF is money meant to develop our communities. Of course, to develop us, but also, and most importantly, our communities. Because if our communities develop, then even us as individuals will develop. So whoever is going to access this money, if you are going to access the money as a loan, you must ensure that you have a plan to pay back, and you must pay back. Those who are going to get grants, they must make sure that they use this grant to create opportunities for the many other people that need opportunities. It is the CDF that is going to create the many jobs and opportunities that we are looking for. So those who are going to access this money, they must prudently use this money. And those who are issuing and giving out this money, they must make sure that they give the money to the people who deserve the money, to the people who at the end of the day have shown that they can be able to utilize this money and actually multiply it, and even give other people opportunities, as unlike giving the money to the people that you know, to the your cadres, or the people that you think these are close to me, your relatives. I think that should not happen. We must give people this money on merit.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, has described as wishful thinking claims by the opposition Patriotic Front suggesting that Zambians will miss the PF by the year 2023 owing to alleged high levels of hunger that will be witnessed in the country. During a press conference last week, PF Acting President LUBINDA charged that Zambians will regret voting them out of office, further accusing the UPND of getting excited with commissioning PF-initiated projects. He says the UPND will have nothing to put out by the end of 5 years. But UPND Deputy Secretary General Gertrude Imenda has told Camnet News that, to the contrary, Zambians have found freedom under the new administration, predicting that by the year 2023, Zambians will be amazed at the development that will be achieved. Patrick Soko reports.
They said democracy is a competition of ideas and provides for the expression of opinions, and of course within certain parameters. And most of all, it is about tolerating the views you do not like from someone you might not like. Political movements have not been short of criticism to the various policies being implemented by the United Party for National Development, UPND, to revive Zambia's economy, which had been grounded on account of failed economic policies and the huge debt burden left by the previous administration, being the Patriotic Front. PF acting president Given Lubinda believes the high cost of living is likely to worsen by 2023 and that Zambians will miss the PF.
By the turn of 2023, mark my words, you will look towards the Patriotic Front. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. You know, even when a marriage is new, everybody looks upon it with glee. They all admire it. But as the members say, after some time, but for you, you are living inside the Inganda, so you can't even see the Mutenge, you will see the cracks in the wall. That is going to remind you of the fact that there once was a president called Michael Chilufya-Sata, who was succeeded by President Edgar Chagwa, who delivered on their promise, who delivered tangible development for this country. The development which now is a pleasure for others to come and commission. And we're very proud. We're very proud that we have a lot of projects for them to commission. They are busy commissioning to an extent that they can't start any new project. Shame. There's no room anymore because their job now is just to commission what we started. By the time they finish commissioning and they want to start new projects, Zambians will say,
But in response, United Party for National Development UPND Deputy Secretary General Gertrude Imenda wondered how Zambians would miss a government that allegedly thrived in illegality through cadarism and abused its own citizens. She says, to the contrary, Zambians have found freedom under the new Dawn administration, saying by 2023, Zambians will be amazed with the development, which will signify the end of the PF.
You know, I think I heard that one from Honorable Given Lubinda. Honorable Given Lubinda said to stop romanticizing and so on. And you know, by end of 2023, mark my word too. Mark his word, but mark my word too. By end of 2023, Zambians will even see, they will even those who did not vote for UPND, they will now come on board because they will see, you will see the results of all these efforts in investments that are going to take place. This country is not going to be the same. It's going to turn around. This economy, mark my word, you see what's going to happen. PF by Given Lubinda, please. It will just be dead and buried.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
You're watching Camnet Television and not just another channel. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
ZAMBIANS, Save Nations, Develop Africa. Connecting African countries to each other and connecting the African continent to the world. This logistics and global supply chain management group offers end-to-end solutions across all sectors of the economy: agriculture, energy, telecommunications, finance, construction, transportation, and insurance. And now, its initiatives are greener than ever, operating in line with government guidelines and working to provide energy security for Zambia and beyond. 25 companies united under one group and one vision. ZAMBIANS. Trade and logistics made easy.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the country.
There's so much data.
Mom? Yes, baby?
It says here
Global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow! Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amidst uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple. Lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilunga. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage, and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. The Lusaka Agrotech Institute says the reduction of maize yield from 3.6 million metric tons to 2.7 million metric tons in 2022 was expected in view of weather variations, the late distribution of farming inputs, and the infestation of army worms. In an interview with Camnet News Organization Vice Principal, Mr. Jeston Muhango says despite this challenge, the nation is not likely to experience food shortages. More in the following report.
Thursday, 12th May 2022, Agriculture Minister Ruben Mutolo announced that the production of the country's staple food has reduced from 3.6 million metric tons in 2021 to 2.7 million metric tons in 2022. The Lusaka Agrotech Institute, through its representative, Justin Mohango, has however said the reduction has come as not a surprise as this was expected. Mr. Mohango tells this reporter that in the 2021 to 2022 farming season, this was one of the most harsh weather patterns that has been experienced in 3 years of the farming seasons. He says the prolonged dry spells and floods that were experienced in these farming seasons did not only destroy the crops for the farmers, but also left some of them homeless.
Varieties. It was expected that there will be a reduction in the maize harvest this season. Other than that, then we had floods. Just after farmers planted, the floods stripped off most of the crops. Again, that contributed to a reduction already. And the third reason was attributed to the high cost of farm inputs, which was both local and international. International, we know that there is war in Ukraine, and to do the transportation of the imported fertilizers, it contributed to the increase in prices. Whilst locally, it meant that farmers were planting the same maize 3 times. They did the dry planting, which was destroyed. They did the second planting, which was also destroyed by the floods.
Mr. Muhango, however, says despite the reduction in the production of maize, the country will not experience any food shortages as the government, through the Food and Reserve Agency FRA, has enough maize stocks to sustain the nation's food security for more than a year.
And in addition to food reserve in Zambia, Food Reserve Agency, they do not store lead to. They store enough, like even when we are getting into like this marketing season, Food Reserve Agency, they already prepared between 2021 and 2023 seasons, because this mostly is expected in farming. So like they already secured the food. Now, following by the minister's announcement that the export will continue, it is because the minister is not talking from without. He is talking from a consultative or informative reason, which is they sit with the Food Reserve Agency, they sit with the Millers Association of Zambia and the other stakeholders. They already know our consumption rate and our storage capacity that we already have. So if we, and also they also know our export capacity of maize to the markets where we take to. So statistically, on paper, we are safe. So we can continue, and they're also looking at the benefit of the forex. If we sell the maize to fetch more money, and it also help in...
Mr. Mhango says, if any increment in the prices of mealie meal is recorded, it will not be as a result of this reduction, but rather due to the high cost of fuel, which is used in the production of mealie meal, a commodity which is highly expensive on the market. Messi Chanika reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
The Cleaning Association of Zambia has urged President Hakainde Hichilema to actualize his commitment to support the participation of local people in the economic sector. Association President Lawrence Makumbi says Zambians must not be spectators in the mining investments that is coming into the country. Mr. Makumbi has since called on government to introduce a policy that will promote Zambians to be the main players in investments coming into the country.
Held in South Africa recently. The Zambian entrepreneurs now task President Hakainde Hichilema, the Mines Minister and the Minister of SMEs, to make sure that Zambians benefit from these huge investments in the billions of dollars at FQM, Kansanshi and Kalumbila. We must make sure that none of these funds are externalized through foreign contractors and suppliers. Important for President Hakainde Hichilema to note is that these cycles of investment take about 10 years to come back. And the last time that we had such major investment in Kansanshi and Kalumbila was about 10 years ago. And foreign contractors had Christmas for over 2 years, ripping off billions of US dollars in contracts and supplies at Kansanshi. That is 10 years ago. Hence, to President Hakainde Hichilema, we are stating that the President and the Mines Minister and the Minister of SMEs must now dictate the terms. They must tell the mines that 80% of these $2 billion in contracts and supply works must be given to Zambians. Zambians must not be spectators in this huge foreign investment that shall come. We are able and up to this task, and we can perform the contracts that our counterparts from our neighboring countries were given these jobs last time.
And now, on a joyous note, Camnet TV member of staff Amos Lungu wedded his partner Diana Zulu on Saturday, May 14, 2022. Gracing the ceremony, Ministry of Information and Media Director Tawo Kawana encouraged the couple to embrace transparency as a critical tool to successful marriage. More in the following report.
The Zambian media fraternity has yet again made jubilation over a colleague in Amos Lungu, a Camnet TV staff, who was tied knots with his partner Diana Zulu Saturday, 14 May 2022. The Lungus have celebrated their first day in marriage in Lusaka in the witness of family and friends. Gracing the ceremony, Minister of Information and Media Director Tawo Kawana has encouraged the couple to embrace transparency as a crucial tool in the success of their marriage.
And I'm happy that you have shown that you are a responsible person. Many people do not take the quantum leap to do what you have done. But what you have done today, you have made your family smile, you have made your workmates smile, you've made your bosses smile, you've made your parents smile. But above all, you have made God smile. because God smiles upon such unions. And I just want to say to you that now that you have a good fresh start, one thing they have not talked about, which I just want to talk about, is your phone. Take care of your phone. Let Diana take care of her phone. These phones can bring problems. If there is a pin, let Diana know the pin. Diana, if you have a pin, let Amos know the pin. But if you do not have a pin, let your phone be her phone and her phone be your phone.
In the same vein, family representatives have underscored the need to put love ahead of everything in this journey.
What you're supposed to stick in is the love that you're going to share together. As we are just going to be supporting staff in your marriage. We are not going to be there to destroy you, but to help you build your marriage. Do not expect someone from outside to come in and solve your problems.
Workmates to Mr. Lungu congratulated the newly wedded couple.
TV, obviously you are aware that Amos Lungu works in the media for Camnet TV. And for that, we just want to appreciate. My team is there. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. To you, Amos Lungu and Diana Zulu Lungu, that love is a beautiful thing. Enjoy it to the latter. And the second thing that I would love to mention to you is that you need to understand your responsibilities in this marriage. Amos Lungu, you are the head of the house, and Diana Zulu Lungu is the heart of the house. And when you understand your roles in this marriage, it will be successful.
A third party, if you take your word, your difference outside, you are inviting problems. So Amos, when you have whenever you have a problem with your wife, I beg you, just say sorry to make peace in the house. When you are calm, talk to her nicely. The
two have since thanked everyone's support. Indeed, it is a congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Lungu. Alex Shimba, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Well, congratulations to the newly wedded couple. And now in other news, Lusaka residents have shared divergent views on the relaunched COVID-19 vaccination campaign, saying that it will curb the spread of the virus as the country heads towards the cold season. The relaunch of the COVID-19 vaccination was done on the 14th of May 2022 in Solwezi district by Vice President Mutale Nalumango. More in the following report.
On the 14th of May 2022, the Ministry of Health relaunched the COVID-19 vaccination campaign in an effort to mitigate the further spread of the coronavirus as the nation anticipates the possible fifth wave of the virus. The relaunch, which was held in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province, was graced by the presence of Her Honor the Vice President Mutale Nalumango. The launch, which has a target to vaccinate 70% of the eligible Zambian population by June 30th, against the number of people who are fully vaccinated, which currently stands on 2.25 million, representing 13.7% of the entire population. The COVID-19 relaunch, once effectively implemented, will enable the country to relax some of its strict measures. A Camnet TV news crew in Lusaka today decided to pay a visit at one of the COVID-19 vaccination centers in Kalingalinga compound to monitor the situation. Upon reaching the site, it was discovered that health personnel have taken a full swing of the campaign, not just at hospitals and clinics, but also at sites of convenience like Kalingalinga Primary School in Lusaka. Some of the residents expressed excitement in the relaunching of the campaign, citing the reason that the nation is heading towards the cold seasons and more should begin to embrace the idea of vaccination and not be misled by assumptions spread in communities.
Now people are being discouraged. So what I would advise people is to first to go to medical centers to seek for more information so that they can get this vaccine. Otherwise, if they are getting it from the community, they won't have the full information, and the people who are giving them the information are not the right people. So hence, making the number of, making people who are getting the vaccine to be, making it difficult for others to get. So what I could say is that the best place where you can seek more information is the facility. Because in here we'll be able to help you out on how one is supposed to get it. Quite alright, each and every vaccine has some side effects, just like any other drug. So it depends sometimes with how your body reacts. So if you could like to get more information, it's better you come to the facility so that we give you more information and you are able to get the vaccine.
Other residents disclosed to this reporter that upon getting both the doses of AstraZeneca vaccine, he has not experienced any severe symptoms and life has continued as usual, as he is therefore advising everyone who is having doubts to consider visiting the hospital. The vaccination, which is being carried out in a multi-sectorial manner, is expected to run in 2 phases of 10 days, set apart by 4 weeks to allow the completion of the 2 doses and boosters. Other than that, the Ministry of Health has called on for support from members of the Parliament, the local government and traditional leaders to be part of this exercise to ensure a good turnout. Mercy Chaneka reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
This is Camnet TV. We'll take our second and final break. We'll be back with more news after this break.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
We welcome you to the wonderful world of Savenda Electronics.
At Savenda Electronics, we pride ourselves in manufacturing high-quality electricity and water meters.
Boasting of the first of its kind state-of-the-art manufacturing plant in Zambia, Savenda Electronics manufactures customized smart electricity and water meters of international standards for both the local and international water and electricity utility companies. Our highly computerized factory, run by qualified staff, makes, calibrates, and electronically tests the smart meters to ensure only those meeting customer specifications are delivered to the market. Some of the main features which come with our meters includes notifications about low units, tempering, low battery, and many more customized features. Savenda Electronics provides on and off-site after-sales service and has favorable contract terms for water and electricity utility companies. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Are you a married man or woman? Are you encountering challenges in your marriage? Are you planning to take your marriage and love relationship to higher levels? Your business platform is all set for you as a couple. You are invited to attend Zambia's First Love and Marriage plus Business Conference. Amid its uncertainties in the economy, higher divorce rate in the world, plan to be one of the most successful couple in Zambia. Date 28th May 2022. Time from 9 hours to 16 hours. Participation fee 1,200 kwacha per couple. Lunch inclusive. For registration, payment can be done through MTN mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010 for Airtel Money. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International. Speakers, Professor and Mrs. Catherine Munkumba. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluma. This is a must-attend conference. Plan and make a date with us. Your lives, marriage, and future will never be the same. Remember, we are born for greatness. Book for your seats by calling 0962 965 883. See you on the 28th May 2022.
Welcome back. And in international news, a curfew has been declared in Nigeria's northwestern city of Sokoto to quell protests demanding the release of suspects in the killing of a Christian school student, Deborah Samuel. It comes as hundreds of people in the northwestern city of Sokoto demonstrated Saturday over the arrest of 2 students following the murder of a Christian student accused of blasphemy, according to residents. Deborah Samuel, a student of Sehu Shagari College of Education, was on Thursday stoned to death and her body burnt by a mob of Muslim students of the college after she made a post on social media they deemed insulted Prophet Muhammad. Meanwhile, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has strongly condemned the murder of Deborah Samuel. And Somalia will soon have a new president chosen by members of parliament. The election has been delayed for more than a year and has been marred by corruption allegations and violence. For more in international news, here's a roundup.
Amina Mohamed Abdi was known for being a fearless and outspoken critic of Somalia's government until she was killed 2 months ago. She was an opposition MP vying for a 3rd term. Her sister Samira says she wanted to be part of a new government that would make Somalia a fairer and safer place. A suicide bomber ran at her at an election meeting in the town of Beledweyne. The armed group Al-Shabaab said it was responsible. She's one of hundreds of people who've been killed in the tense lead-up to Somalia's presidential election, which has been delayed by more than a year. Samira says she lost much more than a sister.
Amina always helped everyone who came her way, whether they were her relatives or not, or from any clan. She didn't care about those things. She just saw people and humanity. If anyone was in need, she just cared about the needs of that person.
Since Amina was killed, nearly 300 MPs have been sworn in. But Somalis didn't get to vote for them. They were selected by clan representatives and officials in processes that many say were corrupted and rigged. MPs elect the president under a system that was introduced after the central government collapsed in 1991. Everyone familiar with the process says buying of votes is widespread. Winning depends on forging alliances between factions. In the days leading up to the vote, many of the deals have been discussed here at the heavily fortified Jazeera Hotel in the capital Mogadishu. It's a place where politicians and their supporters can meet in relative safety. A televised debate between 4 of the most prominent candidates was planned, advertised on this billboard, but it didn't happen. The candidates disagreed on the terms, and so Somalis haven't even got to hear what the policies of the different candidates are. But what people think won't affect the outcome, because the decision lies in the hands of the members of parliament. People familiar with the process say the large amounts of cash involved still don't guarantee anyone a victory or even a vote.
No candidate is campaigning without money. Then all MPs are just roaming, trafficking around, telling them, I vote for you, and everyone is guaranteeing voting for you, for you, for you. Someone can pick money from 5, 6 candidates, and then you have only 1 vote.
People here hope that completing the elections will make Somalia a little safer. But this is a place where politicians can't even safely move around their own capital city. Whoever wins the vote faces some enormous challenges. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera, Mogadishu, Somalia.
A curfew has been declared in Nigeria's northwestern city of Sokoto to quell protest, demanding the release of suspects in the killing of a Christian school student, Deborah Samuel. Samuel was beaten and burned by fellow students on Thursday for alleged blasphemous statements about the Prophet Muhammad in a WhatsApp group. On Saturday, hundreds of people demonstrated in the city, taking to streets, lighting bonfires and demanding the release of the 2 detained suspects, despite the earlier deployment of policemen to maintain order. Some of the protesters besieged the palace of the Muhammad, Said Abubakar, the Sultan of Sokoto, and the highest spiritual figure amongst Muslims in Nigeria, who condemned the killing and demanded those involved face justice. The crowd, which made bonfires in the streets, were also demanding the police stop the manhunt for those identified to have taken part in the killing. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has strongly condemned the murder of Deborah Samuel.
It's now time for sports news. Youth, Sports and Arts Minister Elvis Nkandu says government will soon embark on a project that will promote grassroots sports in different sports disciplines. Speaking when he visited Camnet Stars Academy, Nkandu discloses that it is high time that the country sees the reintroduction of school football and other grassroots sports activities. More in the following report.
Several calls have come and gone from different sports associations and the citizenry on the need for government to create an enabling environment in order to attain the desired outcomes. Sports associations appeal to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Art to strengthen sports at grassroots level, stating that the country can produce sports enthusiasts that can compete at global stages. Responding to this cause, Minister in charge of Youth, Sports and Art, Elvis Nkandu, says government aims to promote sports at grassroots level.
At one point, I think we got it wrong, where it's like more like we had to suspend, I would say, one school football. School football used to be used as one of the pillars where we could identify talent at the grassroots. Now some people thought that sport was disturbing academic work, which is not supposed to be the case. So for us, I think we need to revive that. Football in schools should be promoted. We need to enhance and upscale on it. And also, as I said, common football. Apart from that, we're talking to members of parliament to see if we can introduce also football in, and let me just say sport, in all the constituencies, so that we tap talent from there. So I think that is the most important thing that we are doing. And also trying...
Nkandu further called on the general public to emulate the initiative by Pastor Moses Chiluba of coming up with sports academies that will see young talent develop. Nkandu said this when he visited Camnet Stars Academy.
To visit like you've seen me today, we need to identify those that are trying to promote sport in the country by encouraging them. Because some of the players that we've seen, these young men, they don't even have parents. Some of them, they may have parents whose parents cannot even support their talent. So for people like the pastor here, Mr. Chiruwa, to start identifying such individuals, we needed to encourage such individuals so they do even more. Because they're trying to assist the government's vision to get back to the grassroots, as you say.
Blessings Chakwila, Camnet Sports, Lusaka.
To end Camnet news, the headlines once again. Government urged to make corruption a non-bailable offense. Given Lubinda charges that Zambians will miss the PF as the UPND hits back. Most stakeholders oppose the return of Vedanta in the mining sector. In international news, Somalia MPs meet to vote in long-delayed presidential elections. And in sports news, government to promote grassroots sports. Our primary verse for the day is coming from Psalms 139, verse 13 to 14. For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that fully well. Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Siambo. Have a good night.